is that time of the year. If you're looking for a rental for your summer vacation, you can find properties on any number of websites.
But one of those websites has become the target of scammers. Troubleshooter Brad Drayton investigated. He joins us with information that can save your vacation and your money. Brad.
You save for months, even years, for that 1 week at the beach or in the mountains, and those thousands of dollars can be gone in an instant if you don't pay close attention and take the time to protect yourself.
The world of vacation rentals is a multi-billion-dollar industry. People across the globe are looking for that perfect getaway from Europe to the Connecticut shoreline. And they have easy access to tens of thousands of properties.
Online, if you were looking for any sort of summer rental, the only place you could really get information was using HomeAway.
VRBO HomeAway is the world's largest online marketplace for vacation rentals, generating nearly $350 million in revenue last year. Property owners pay a small annual fee to list their home on the user-friendly platform.
The best time is in September when you
Bart Moose rents out his beachfront cottage in Old Lyme every summer.
We use VRBO and HomeAway. They're basically owned by the same company exclusively. See if we get it.
Last year, Carrie and Will Creech used the site to search for a place to hold their annual family reunion. And they thought they'd found the perfect spot out on the Cape.
It was 3 cabins on a lake that we would have private access to.
Carrie reached out to the owner through HomeAway's email portal.
I had questions about whether or not linens were included and whether or not they had fans for us to use.
They heard back the next morning.
They offered us a $400 to $500 discount if we signed up now and paid in advance. But they hadn't answered my questions about the linens and the fans.
Another email garnered the same response, so her husband Will gave it a try.
They sent me back a different discount if you pay now with the same kind of an email.
Yeah, and that's when I started to be a little suspicious.
They were right to be.
Phishing continues to be one of the more pervasive threats that we see in the security space today.
Gary Davis from internet security firm McAfee says the vacation rental market is a frequent target for phishing scams because of the large sums of money at play.
VRBO had acknowledged that they had 3,000 successful scams over the course of the past year.
Bart Moose says he's never had a problem with HomeAway, but his Old Lyme neighbor hasn't been so lucky.
The owner of this beach house tells the troubleshooters the HomeAway email portal for his house was hacked 3 times in a matter of days. A renter called him to say he'd wired $2,000. At that point, he knew he'd been hacked and says HomeAway denied all responsibility.
While HomeAway did not address this specific situation, in a statement it did say HomeAway evaluates all incidences of phishing or fraud to help provide restitution. Victims of HomeAway VRBO have a Facebook user group, but it's closed to members only.
Some of these people, in order to get their money back, they have been told that they have to sign a non-disclosure with HomeAway.
HomeAway acknowledges that the company sometimes creates settlement agreements, which include non-disclosures to protect both parties. Gary Davis from McAfee says there are ways for renters to protect themselves.
What might be a red flag for somebody that perhaps things aren't on the up and up?
In cases where they're asking for private information or information about you that they typically wouldn't.
Like social security numbers or any financial data.
If you get an offer that looks really attractive, instead of replying to the email, actually go to the vendor site and see if you can find the offer there.
The Creeches say the suspicious emails they received all had one common quirk.
They never signed their names, and then it always said, regards, comma, no name. But I never thought it was a hacking scam. Never.
To protect yourself, Davis says you should talk directly to the property owner. Never do the entire transaction over email, and try to find properties that take credit cards or PayPal so your money is protected.
Yep.
Will and Carrie Creech noticed the Cape homeowner's phone number was included in their listing and gave them a call.
She had no idea who I was.
Yes.
Not a clue. And
it seemed like this sweet older couple who
never gotten an email
from us.
They ended up renting the 3 Cape cabins last summer, but were a virtual mouse click away from getting scammed out of their vacation fund.
And if they had just answered those 2 questions, I probably would have just gone ahead and done the wire transfer and been done with it, because that's the kind of digital age I'm in.
HomeAway does provide some warnings after a prospective renter has made initial email contact with an owner.
And in that rote reply, it said, here's a tip. Contact the owners directly for payment.
But Carrie doesn't think it's enough.
I'll still use your service. Just admit that there are untrustworthy people in this world, and they will take advantage.
Now, Carrie Creech wrote to the attorneys general in both Connecticut and Massachusetts, and the AG's office in Hartford confirms they've received about a half dozen complaints about VRBO HomeAway, including from one Connecticut customer who received a settlement from the company. HomeAway is taking action to protect renters. In December, the company launched a secure communication system that hides both the renters' and owners' email addresses. HomeAway also offers insurance, guaranteeing up to $1,000 for no charge and up to $10,000 for a $39 fee, as long as you pay by what's accepted as a safe method. That's credit card or PayPal. For the Troubleshooters, I'm Brad Drazen, NBC Connecticut News.
Excellent and timely advice, Brad. Thank you. If you have a story for the NBC Connecticut Troubleshooters, call 1-800-523-9848. You can also email troubleshooters@nbcconnecticut.com.